Welcome to the video, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to talk about longer shutter speeds, and maybe when you hear the word longer shutter speeds you think about moving water that's super silky, or maybe you're in a different genre and maybe you're like doing some car trail photography. And the most important thing, I want to talk about how you can keep it cheap as a photographer and don't spend a lot of money on filters and stuff to create those longer shutter speed photos. But first we're gonna go a little bit back into the morning and go for that first composition. I've already got our first composition set, so we're ready to go. We're pre-sunrise, you wouldn't say on the camera, but it's still pretty dark here in this landscape. We again had some cascades here in the forest to do this long shutter speed video today. And I'm just waiting for the sky, if it will turn into color or not. We already got a little bit of red glows in the sky, but we're still pre-sunrise, so we have to be patient and wait out what is gonna happen with this with the sky. I've put my cap on because it's so cold. The day will warm up pretty quickly, but now it's still freezing. It's -1, so I want to keep the warmth a little bit in my jacket too, and with the cap on it's a little bit better. To make a shot like this with a longer shutter speeds, I really want to have a sturdy tripod, because with a flimsy tripod I've been touching my camera a few times already to adjust the shutter speed, because I'm shooting towards the sunrise and then I'm shooting in this dal here in the forest. In the dal there's a little bit less light than of course in the sky, so to compensate for the light I need to make different compositions so I can blend those layers afterwards in Photoshop. You really want to have a sturdy tripod, so you're certain when you're going back into Photoshop, you know your photos will be aligned properly and don't have a shake in them. So to do long exposure photography, there are a few things that we need. We already talked about the sturdy tripod that we need, so we don't get shakes or movement in our pictures. And of course, we need a camera with a lens, so you can use your internal counter in your camera. When you push the button, after 2 seconds, 5 seconds or 10 seconds, it will take automatically a photo. So your fingers are from your camera and you're not touching your camera anymore. Or you can use a shutter release button, so you don't have to touch your camera when you want to push in the shutter button. You want to invest in a few filters for your camera, so you can play around with some shutter speeds and reduce the light that's coming into your camera. So I've got my camera set up. I'm photographing a lot of moving water, and at the moment I have my shutter speed at 3 of a second. I got a bigger cascade in the back of this composition. Already with 3 of a second you see the movement in that water, because the water is falling, and it's falling faster than 3 of a second. You already start to see that movement, but in front of us we got the water coming in towards us and it's spinning around a rock here. But I think if we slow down the shutter speed, we can emphasize this movement in front of us way better. So that's what I'm gonna try to do, is slow down our shutter speed and see what the movement in the water is going to do. So now I've took a picture at 1 second. Now you start really seeing the spinning of the water in front of us. This picture is already pretty good how it is, the movement. I like the movement in this water. It's not too fast, it's not too slow. You know what the water is doing. But with the filter onto the lens, we can even go lower with our shutter speed. And now it's 8 seconds. The cascade in the back and the smaller cascades in the front of us, they're silky, they're moving super fast. And even now with the water in the front, You still see the movement, but it's way more silkier than the pictures before. The small rock here in the front of us creates a really interesting foreground element, and the cascades here are our middle ground element, and then the big cascade, and of course the rocks here, or the mountain here, is our background. And I woke up at 10 minutes before 4 this morning because I had to drive 2 hours and I wanted to be here before sunrise. Give the video a like and subscribe because I really worked hard for this. And also, if you want to see more videos like this, and maybe you're thinking like Joris, I don't have a filter like this because I have more lenses than one lens. I got you covered. When I'm doing longer shutter speed photos, I'm most of the time using this filter. It's a 2-in-1 circular polarizer filter. I only have one filter like this. If I want to put that filter on another lens, I'm using step up or step down rings, and they have the filter threads that I need for every lens that I have. So I can put that same filter on all of my lenses, because the filter thread of this filter here is the same thread as my Tokina 11 to 60 millimeters. Using step down rings, they are very cheap, and you only have to buy one or a few filters that you want to use onto your lenses, so that reduces the cost a lot. And maybe you're like, Joris, I don't have the money to buy a filter like that and all the step down rings that I need for all my lenses. Or maybe you're just starting out with photography and you're just trying out stuff. You can easily go out in the evening or early in the morning when the light is very soft. The light will go away very quickly, and also your shutter speed will slow down super fast. So you can also do long exposure photography. Recently on a shoot I did a car trail photo at the end of my video, and I was also just on the side of a road. Be safe on the side of the road. And I also did a long exposure photo with the lights from the car, and I didn't have my filters on it because it was already pretty dark. So here in this forest we got some water running through the forest with some super small cascades, and that's what I'm photographing right now with the Tamron 100 to 400 onto the body and portrait orientation. And I'm shooting actually close up here because I already took a test photo at 3 of a second. And that wasn't super great, but the composition is really nice. It would be way better also if I would have some sunlight on this composition, but I don't have that yet. But now I'm gonna do a second test shot, and I have to keep still because the ground under my feet are not super sturdy, so if I'm gonna move, my tripod is also gonna move. I just took a photo at 4 seconds now instead of the 3 of a second, and I'm really loving it. Gonna try again at 2.5 seconds. I'm trying to play a little bit with the light. Oh, we got some sunlight in the back. Yeah, that's nice. Way nicer. So I'm gonna try to photograph it a little bit more underexposed, but not too much. I can pull out the details out of the shadows, but I cannot regain the details in the highlights of the overexposed places. And also this composition looks a little bit better when it's a little bit moodier. So I was looking at the back of the screen at the photos, and I saw I didn't turn my circular polarizer, so we got some glare onto the water here, and I took a photo without the glare onto the water, and I didn't like it that much. it's much nicer with the glare on the water, because it accentuates a few parts here in the water that I really want to be noticed into this picture. So I've turned the polarizer again, so the glare is back onto the water, and the photo is way better. Oh, sunlight. So I'm photographing for 20 seconds now to see if that's a big difference or not, and to see if it's actually something cool or not. I hope this video was a little bit interesting about the longer shutter speeds, and my next video will be one for the really beginners out there. It's going to be a video about how to get out of auto and go into the manual modes in photography. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.